Hello, Meoni here, and these are my 5 initial tips for cosmic exploration to make it easier or just to have a better time within it. If there is interest in this type of video, I will do others. There's lots of things I can give you in terms of advice for this content. I've been thoroughly enjoying it myself personally. So the first one then, GP, the elephant in the room, or on the moon, I should say. GP regen is just frankly awful, aside from the fact we still haven't got any form of GP regen buff or any kind of way of restoring GP faster. It's a little outdated, especially for content like this, and you might be feeling the same. It is pretty awful. Aside from just getting high quality cordials, which obviously provide your 300 GP on use, definitely consider grabbing high cordials. There are multiple ways to obtain these, be that purple scripts, which is actually 20 purple scripts a pop for a high cordial. You can actually get them from Ishgard Restoration if you ever did that content like I did. You probably have a bunch of Skybuilder scripts just lying around doing nothing. If you exchange these for pirate spoils in Ishgard Restoration and then take those pirate spoils to the airship landing area in Ishgard itself, you can actually exchange what effectively is 40 Skybuilder scripts for one high cordial, which is pretty good. Or in my case, the thing that I'd forgotten about until recently and posted on social media, the best method was to actually make use of Island Sanctuary, put those mammoths back to work. I actually had a ton of cowries lying around, the currency from Island Sanctuary. You can actually exchange both your green and blue Islander cowries on Island Sanctuary for high cordials on the vendors, which is actually really, really good, considering it's very likely Square Enix won't plan to do anything further with the content-wise on Island Sanctuary, and high cordials are very, very cool. Definitely grab them. Obviously, restoring 400 GP instead of 300 GP, you know, that a normal high quality cordial would restore is still going to make you run into problems, especially for your gathering classes in cosmic exploration. I had quite a lot of trouble with my botany and mining missions. They can get very GP heavy in the A class missions especially. My only other advice for this beyond using cordials is to prepare a crafter relic at the same time, so do a crafter tool. That way, whilst you're waiting for the GP regen or potion cooldown on your cordial, at least you can swap to your crafter, do a couple of crafts, make some progress, and then switch back once that's regened. Optimizing your time will result in fewer occasions where you're standing around bored or looking for things to do. My second tip then is a fairly straightforward one once again. For gathering, especially, you need to work smarter, not harder. If you need level 4 experience for your tool, for example, then don't bother running to the other side of the map just to do a mission that popped up on your screen that rewards the level 4 EXP after you've completed one that just did. There is really only one penalty from spamming your accept and abandon button for stellar missions, and that's if you did the mech ops recently, which actually gives you a bonus reward to your credit currencies upon completion, which honestly, unless you really care, it's about 10% or something like that. It isn't that big of a deal. Don't be afraid to be lazy like I have. If it actually saves you time in the long run, do a mission that you like that gives you the EXP for what you need for your tool at that time. Then, if the same mission doesn't pop up, don't hesitate to abandon something and then look on the list again. Refresh that list as many times as you want, abandoning and accepting repeatedly. Or you can even zone out of the moon zone itself and then back in again. Both will refresh the list. However, both will also trash your credit earn buff. Bear that in mind. It counts as the accept as one of those missions, basically. So it's, you know, if you really care about the buff, you probably want to run around a bit and just do whatever missions pop up. If you don't really care about the Cosmo credit buff from the mech ops, if you're even doing them, then abandon away and just power level through one of your tools. Another thing to go with this is try to choose missions that you can do successively that have different requirements. So what I mean by here is if you don't want to wait for GP and can't be bothered with crafting, or just want to do your botanist. Let's say I just want to do my botany. I only care about that. Find a location that has at least 2 stellar missions in the same exact area. There's quite a few. If you look and abandon a few times, you'll see that there's 1 or 2, sometimes 3 in the same area, either the south or the north. For example, over here, we have one that is get as many items within the time limit as possible, right? Up to a certain amount, and then it completes. And then the other one is Gatherer's Boon Effect scoring. So what I'll do is I'll use my Bountiful Harvest 2 and King's Yield to burn all of my GP on this mission to get gold as quickly as I physically can. And then I will do the other mission, which is obviously proc based. So I just walk around hitting trees until it gives me the proc, saving my GP until it completes. This way I can switch back to the other mission, and then I have GP and that cordial back, and I'm not just stood there waiting. There are many ways to optimize your time, but obviously a mix of missions is the best, but also spamming and accepting is something you shouldn't be afraid of. My third tip then, save your big bang tickets. They actually stack, which is something I don't think a lot of people are talking about. So one of the things you might have noticed is there's a limited amount of stuff we can actually win on the Cosmo Fortune minigame, right? Until they add a vendor in the future where we can use that blue currency to just straight up buy things, or they add new things to the wheel, there's only a limited amount of things, and most of those have crashed on the market. You can go and buy them out really cheaply now in comparison to week 1. It's a given. So saving your blue Cosmo credits is not really a great idea, as they have a maximum cap, right? You're going to reach that pretty quickly if you're not spending them. You might as well just use them and spin the wheel and then save the item for a future patch where people aren't doing Cosmic. For example, when the next field instance comes out with Shade's Triangle, the Occult Croissant, and then try and relist stuff back on the wheel, or in a year or two, if you want to grab a hold of those things. But when you do a mech op as a pilot, most of the time, unless you're really lucky you'll get them out, you'll get a big bang ticket. These tickets, when used at the Cosmo Fortune desk, essentially do the same thing when you land on a stellar opportunity quadrant on normal wheel spin. So basically, they populate the wheel with usually the better, more sought after items and weed out the cordials and things like that. Sometimes you get bad RNG. And it gives you a better chance at some of the higher ticket, the better chase items. But the best thing about that is that these tickets stack, and they have no cap. They just stack up to 999 of them. So technically you could have a stack of, 999 Big Bang tickets, and then a new stack of 999, which is pretty awesome, isn't it, if you want to save these? But they keep on stacking. I keep collecting them, and I'm going to use those in the future and immediately get the best rewards when they come out with the next moon, right? It's presumably going to be the same ticket, hopefully. So if you're on a low pop server, or if you just move to an unpopulated instance of your moon, either by talking to the Laporit where you first zone in, either inside or outside, you can choose a low pop instance, then go and purchase a mech op ticket with 1,000 of your blue credits. Go in there as a pilot, since the game chooses 6 pilots, right? You have a much better chance to be chosen on that low pop instance on that server. Then just simply stockpile your tickets up for your subsequent patches in the future, and when the next mount comes out, blow them all at once. So here is a reminder of when those other planets and content will be added for Cosmic Exploration. This was from the letter from a producer live, if I remember correctly, with updates that will likely include new chase items, new mounts, minions, parasols, who knows what. But you definitely want to save these Big Bang tickets to just weed out the trash and get those items if they use the same tickets on the same wheel on the other planet, which they might do, or they might just repopulate the current wheel with new items as well. But who knows, right? But it's still a good idea to stack these up. There's not much you can spend them on at the moment. You might as well save them. My fourth tip then, when it comes to crafting or gathering missions, sometimes you will just be put in a position where for the life of you cannot get gold rating. I really wouldn't worry. Bronze obviously is not great. That's just your static completion. Whatever the rewards were listed on the mission, that's all you'll get. But silver will give you a 4 times bonus to every single reward on there. Your credits, your EXP towards your cosmic tool. And the difference is that gold only gives you a 5 times buff. So you're only getting 1 times more stuff if you even gold rate. Now, of course, there are achievements for gold rating every single stellar mission, right? But unless you're going for that off the bat, you might just want to simplify things, go for silver, and power level through. This can even save you currency as well, like your GP restoration. Like, the difference between bronze and silver is incredible, but between silver and gold, not so much. If you don't have the stats, the gear, or the care to go for gold, just don't. Honestly, the fastest way to finish tools is sometimes just to take those 4 times rewards and settle for it. Gold is great, obviously, but it's not worth it if you're just wanting to get your tool progressed and move on and get them all done. Some missions are an incredible challenge, one that I actively enjoy. I really like the fishing, for example. A lot of people do not. But when I'm sat down and I just want to get stuff done, I will just go and scrape silver, especially on my gatherers, save the extra GP that I would have spent. You know, sometimes I would have spent it and still not got gold, and then just pop it again, and then I can do the same mission or some other mission with the GP I've saved, and then get silver rating again. And it's much easier, much quicker, and I'm worrying less about my silver completion compared to gold. If I was going to go purely for points for the contribution score, i.e. if I wanted to get the 500,000 points on a particular crafter or gatherer achievement, which is amazing, by the way. I know a lot of people are starting that, which I will eventually do this expansion. You know, I have the Pteranodon, I might as well do it again. I would definitely not be doing those anyway. I would be doing sequential missions. These sequential missions where you go and gather something and then craft something with Weaver or whatever it might be offer so many more points than any other mission on the Stellar board. And they're actually, most of the time, a lot easier as well than a lot of the other gold rating things. So if you're going for points, just do those, I would say. Try to fish for those. You can obviously accept and abandon until you get those. But again, you know, when it comes to your gathering missions, try to just do only what you need to do. You know, the smarter you work, the easier this will be, and the quicker that you'll be able to be straight off the moon if you want to be. But yeah, that's pretty much my tip for that. And then my final tip, or at least for this particular video format, red alerts. These are something you have to do. Do not miss these. They are incredibly valuable. Usually they require very little effort, like the gathering ones for mining. Go and hit meteorite up to this amount of times, and then bring it back and submit it. Oh look, gold rating. You can mass complete these for insane amounts of points during the time limit that's up on the screen. There's a reason everyone rushes to do them. And if you're trying to go for the achievements, especially for that 500k, you really will not want to miss one of these if you can help them. Obviously, contribution points are raining from the sky from these completions as well. So if you're going for star contributor, you definitely want to take part in these. Because of how simple they are and how many you can fit into a single red alert, and then the bonus upon completion of a red alert as well with the currency, they are a must do. If you're leveling a class for the first time, definitely go do them. If you're farming points, go do them. Or if you're farming Cosmo credits, they're insanely good. If you still need some stuff from the wheelie spinny thing, definitely do these. And because of how easy they are to do relatively, definitely swap out to your Cosmic Tool if you've got one of those complete as well. If you're going for point earn, just simply swap out to Cosmic Tool. The 35% bonus on a complete tool to credits earned is absolutely amazing, and it adds up quite a bit on the credits that you get at the end. You will end up with, you know, several thousand more than you would have without the weapon equipped. It's quite good for funneling points up. Again, if you want points, that is. But if you've got everything, I don't really particularly think there's much point in it, but there we go. And I suppose the final bonus tip I'll just slip in here. If you're finding cosmic exploration grindy, boring, or it's taking too long, just remember that things get easier the more tools you complete. After the completion of your first tool, you'll gain a 50% bonus to EXP, i.e. the data acquisition EXP, for obviously all of the, you know, like blacksmithing 1, 2, 3, and 4s by 50% after your first tool. After you have completed 3 tools, that goes up to 100% bonus for every other tool. And then when you complete 5 tools, all other tools all the way up to number 11 will be given a 150% bonus. So as I say, the more you do after your first one's completed, the easier it gets to get the others. So if you find that your first tool was a bit of a grind, a little bit not for you, definitely try the next subsequent ones, because the 100% bonus is enormous, and obviously 150% is even bigger. But there are only 3 buffs, and then there are no other point bonuses gained after that point, at least for now. But there we go. Cosmic Exploration, in my opinion, is some of the most fun content that I've done for crafters and gatherers in the game. I'm really enjoying it, and hopefully I can help you enjoy it too. So if there's anything you want me to do, if you want another video like this, I have plenty of other things that we could talk about. But again, I tried to fit it into a list 5 at least video without making this an enormous video length. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.